Hello, you speakers. I'm Gatsa.
I'm George.
And I'm Javier.
How do we usually reply to a greeting? For instance, if I say, Good afternoon, how are you? What do you usually say in English, George?
Oh yeah, if they say good afternoon to you, you would have to say good afternoon as well, or or afternoon, because you would not sound it wouldn't sound appropriate if you say what's up. You know, if somebody says good afternoon and you say
Right.
what's up, it's no, it's not right. You would really have to say good afternoon. Yeah, how are you would be okay. So, but you have to be, you have to remain appropriate.
Yeah, remember, guys, appropriacy depends on who you're talking to and the purpose of your communication. Okay.
Right, right. So you reply that just how is it going? How are you doing? Right?
Exactly. So
Okay.
if it's how's it going, it's pretty informal. So
Yes,
and I'll be like, I'm
exactly.
doing good. I'm all right. I
Right.
can't complain.
Okay.
Numerous ways of answering. But if it's a how are you, I would just normally find thank you because it's formal.
Okay, okay. Okay, those are great, but what happens when you really or you reply to greetings
Uh,
has a hidden meaning? When you really want to continue the conversation, maybe say something else about how
wow.
you really are. Today, you're learning how to reply to greetings in advanced English.
All right.
All
Interesting.
right. Welcome to another episode of the You Speak English podcast. Thank you for hitting that play button and subscribing to our podcast channel.
And remember to download the learning materials for this podcast. The link is in the description box.
Okay, guy, enough chatter. Let's get started with our first section. Most common mistakes advanced learners make.
Yes. I love this section because every time we have a class, we kind of like I add to the list.
I do.
So it's
You
yeah,
know,
my
So
students
do
thank
I.
thank
every
goodness
time
my students give us
we get
so
plenty of
much to
material.
talk about. Yeah, we get plenty of material. Thank you guys.
Thank
If you're
anybody that's
listening to
listening. You
us.
got my students. Thank you very much, guys.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much.
So
Okay.
wait a minute, Javier, are you thanking them for their own mistakes or what?
Yeah,
After I
we
mean, they make the mistake. I
and they
help
will
them.
correct them.
They correct
Okay.
themselves. They get corrections. I get free material.
But
All right.
exactly,
Cool.
It's a
exactly. It's
win-win.
a
It's a
win-win.
win-win.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Okay, Javier, can you suggest me something?
Okay, no problem. I can
Oh,
start,
no.
even though George seemed was to be more ready. But okay, want me to start?
Okay, suggest me is the first mistake that I want to talk about. Suggest
Oh,
me
okay.
if
Oh, okay.
yes, suggest
I didn't
me.
can. Can you suggest me a good? Can I suggest you?
I can
Oh,
suggest you.
I could
Look
suggest
at my
something.
Yes.
clock.
Uh-huh.
And I hypnotize you.
That's just suggest. Are you
Exactly.
suggest? No, you can't say
Yes.
that. You can't
No,
say
we
suggest me.
cannot say that. We
That's
cannot
wrong. That's just
suggest me.
wrong.
It's wrong. Exactly.
On so many
Even
levels.
though this may sound as correct, because in Spanish we may think like that. It suggests
Yeah.
me. Yes.
Yeah.
In Spanish we do use it like that in translation. But it's not correct. The correct way to say it is by
Yeah.
adding the preposition to.
Uh
The same as explain, right?
huh.
Suggest to me
Uh
or
huh.
explain to
To
me.
me. Uh huh.
Never forget the
Or just
to.
go on to the phrase. Can you suggest a good place to eat? You know,
Exactly. Yes,
that's a good.
exactly.
Obviously, it's me. You can't.
Yes. Or if you suggest me, that means that you are suggesting someone else to maybe think about me for a
uh,
job
uh,
or but it would
You
be a
can put
lot
in
more
a word for me
complicated.
there, please. Yeah.
there you go. Refer me
Exactly.
would be best. You know.
Yeah.
I was
Exactly.
referred to George,
Exactly.
by
Yes.
a
So
former client.
suggest me. No, don't do
All
that.
right. Okay. Well, I have another one, guys.
Yeah.
When I heard the other day one of my students, and I said, just like you said, hey, Javier, what you just said, that's why I laughed, Javier, because I said, hey, I'm going to write this down. Okay. All right. The word, two words that could be easily confused:
Oh yeah.
sensitive and sensible.
Right.
All
Mhm.
Right.
right, sensitive and sensible. All right, that's a very, very common mistake. So
Mhm.
let me just clarify. Sensitive means to detect or respond to slight changes or signals or influences. To being thoughtful. All right. For example, if we consider a good teacher one that is sensitive to his group, that he will stop if he detects that there's something not being understood by his students, so because he's sensitive, he can easily detect things. All right, he or she, right? And the word sensible, well, is to have common sense, being smart. All right, be sensible. Think
Mhm.
about it.
Well,
Don't go
sometimes George, common sense is not that common.
Mhm. It's beyond common.
It's beyond
Beyond common. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
god.
all right.
All
Let's
You
be
right.
know,
sensible.
George actually hit it on the nail because these two words are commonly confused even by native speakers. Native
Right.
speakers get them wrong. Not even students. Native speakers, they use them wrong. Like when people say
Mm.
literally, and that's everybody's using that literally wrong. But
Mhm.
we'll talk about that later.
But
Okay.
they're literally using it
They're
wrong.
literally using it wrong. Literally.
Hmm.
Okay, the ones that I have is 9 out of 10 times it's what we call L1 interference. That means they're still thinking in Spanish. Okay,
Oh, that's right.
I mean I like when my students try to use the phrase, but they are making a mistake. For example, one of my students said, I don't like CrossFit because I don't see the funny.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I don't
I
see the
don't see the
funny.
funny. Hmm.
The funny what?
Yeah, but it's
The funny
not
what?
telling you a joke.
Funny what?
Like
The
You
no,
don't
funny
go there for
what?
and then
jokes
like
Where's the punchline?
where's the punchline?
at the gym.
And then yeah, I guess. Okay,
Right. Yes.
so we gotta explain that you say like, oh, I don't see what's the catch. I don't see what's fun about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Another one, common mistake that sometimes they don't know the correct usage of a certain words that does not apply exactly the same in Spanish. For example, Casa, let me give you one advice.
Oh no! Please give me.
Give me two advices.
Give me three.
No, advice is not
No, I
plural in
want
English.
3.
I want 3. No, you can only get 1 per person. Thank you. 1 per
Oh.
customer.
Oh.
Okay. Your mileage may vary. Okay. So let me give you my one advice. No, guys, advice in English is non-count. You can say, let me give you some advice, or I can give you a piece of advice, but that's
Exactly.
about it.
Yes.
Just a
Cannot-
piece? Not
Just
the
a
whole
piece.
Just
thing?
a little
You don't get
piece,
the full
yes.
advice.
Oh man.
Full advice is for extra money. You have to subscribe.
Yeah, you don't get all the
Yeah,
benefits.
but
You gotta get the premium account.
There you go,
Right?
premium account. There
Exactly.
you go.
You get to go premium.
I'm gonna
Upgrade your
send-
account. Sorry.
There you go. Remember to subscribe, not enroll. Subscribe.
Exactly. Subscribe.
And
That's
the last one, I heard this one just last night, and I want to thank somebody who says that she always listens to us, and then she said she'll recognize exactly what I mean. I heard always when I go, it's busy.
Oh, that's right.
Is that
Yeah.
technically wrong, guys? Technically, is that always when I go to the gym, it's busy.
It's not technically wrong, but it's not something
This is
that you would
exactly this
naturally
sound
say.
natural.
doesn't sound natural at all, guys. So
Yes.
be careful with that, guys, because this becomes something detrimental to your English. Because technically, I do understand you, and technically, you are not wrong, but that's not the way we say it. We say
Exactly.
whenever I go, it's busy.
Mm-hmm.
Not always when I go.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
This
Always
has to
is
do
for
with direct
talk.
translation, right?
Yeah,
Uh-huh,
so it's what they
exactly.
call mother
Translation
tongue
from Spanish.
interference or L1 interference. And it is hard. When people say you have to learn to think in English, nobody ever tells you how to do it. And, join us at school and we'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
There's
We
a
do.
trick. There's
We
a
can.
trick to it.
There's a trick to it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Next section.
Good one. Okay, so for our next section, I am going to allow myself to speak in Spanish.
Yes.
Cosas en español que no tenemos en inglés.
Ta-da!
All
Qué padre,
right.
Javier.
Oh my God, my español es muy
Qué
bueno.
padre. You sound like a native of Spanish.
Okay, George has one for us.
Yeah, I just said it. Qué padre.
Qué padre.
Right.
What
Padre,
father?
you know,
Padre.
qué
What
padre.
Qué padre.
Yeah.
What,
Or
What
padre.
father? What father?
padre.
What father? What father? What?
This is something not just it's not exactly just I mean it's not general Spanish, but specifically Spanish in Mexico.
In Mexico.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Spanish in Mexico, because if you say que padre, if somebody were to translate it into English, they look it up in the dictionary and they would be saying, what does a father have to do with the situation? Like how father or what father? What
And
father?
what?
Father,
Why did he
What?
keep saying father? And
Father
everybody's
who?
like really excited
I
and
know.
happy.
Exactly.
And no. Okay, so que padre. Well,
Uh-huh.
a very common the closest translation could be, "Hey, cool." Oh,
Uh-huh.
how
Cool.
cool!
How
How cool.
How
Exactly.
cool! Yeah, wow, cool.
Yes.
But why
All
is it
right.
cool? What if the
And
weather's
cool
hot?
is frío. And why? And then if
Why is
somebody
it cool?
translates this into Spanish, como que qué frío?
Qué frío.
So what?
How cool is your father? Well, he's dead.
Yeah,
He's pretty cold. I'm sure it's pretty cold. Not cold, actually.
yeah. All
Yeah, he's
right.
dead.
There's
Yeah.
another one that is apapachar.
Uh,
That was a hard one to think about. What does it
Wow.
really mean to apapachar?
yes.
An equivalent form we don't have a word for
No,
that
we
in
don't. We
English,
don't. We don't.
but we could say something in the way of saying to pamper someone. To
Mhm.
pamper someone is
Very
to
close.
indulge them, give him
Uh-huh.
gifts, say how he or she good he's doing,
Right.
buying stuff, make that person feel really, really good. Okay. So
Okay.
that's apapachar, where we don't have
Right.
that. We don't have a
No, we
the
don't.
Well,
closest thing would
translation,
be
no.
to
We don't have a
pamper someone.
Bamber might be, but it's not the
Close,
same.
close.
It's not the
Not
same.
the same connotation.
No,
No.
because I could pamper myself by
Yeah.
by running a hot tub of water, and jumping in and then just listen to nice music with candles and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I
It
can
has to
pamper
do with
myself,
relaxation and
and I
feeling
cannot
good, but physically.
apapachar myself. I
Yes.
can go like, oh, good job, and I can,
Yeah.
that's pretty hard to
Yeah,
Pat
do.
behind
papachar
your
is
back.
more
Yeah,
emotional, right?
so
A
good.
pat in the back.
Pat in the
Yeah,
back won't
yeah,
cut
yeah,
it.
something like
Back,
that.
like
Not
rub
for
back.
not for papaching. Okay, that's a good one, George. Good one. Really
Not for
cool. But
apapaching. Oh,
it's
I
all
love your
because
Spanish, but not for apapaching.
not for papaching. I will apapach. He will. No, this conjugate.
I
I have
can't
to.
apapach.
I have a theory, George. It's padre is cool. It's all called the patriarchy.
Uh-huh.
Patriarchy, because everything father is cool and everything mother is bad. Have you noticed that?
Uh-huh.
We say
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
yeah, right. It's like padre
Yeah.
is like, que padre, oh, bien padre. But mother is like, oh, bad, bad. Oh, I'm not gonna say it because we're in a family friendly podcast, but you know
Right.
exactly what I mean. Okay, so I got one of my own.
I hope you keep to your word for the next one, man.
Well, but the next one that I have is one. I have one. It's mala leche.
Right.
Mala leche. And how would you describe that? Because I'm just someone that's
That's just mean.
mean.
That's something I would say
Mala leche
mean,
to me. So the
right?
milk went,
Ah.
like
Yeah,
bad
Literally
milk.
milk
means
went
the milk is
bad.
bad. Okay,
Yep.
but a person that is mala leche just, yeah, I think it would be mean.
Mhm.
But
Ill-intended.
ill-intended.
Like
But
ill-intended.
then that's two words. Yeah, because it's not really mean. It's kind of like a person that kind of,
Well, mala leche is two words too.
Yes.
well, yeah, it
But
describes. But we
but
don't
it,
have
but
like
it,
one translation.
yeah, but this one is like a metaphor about the milk
There you go. Like don't
Yeah.
like that. You should
and
probably not
mean.
drink it. And mala leche
Mhm.
people, you should probably not deal with them either.
Yeah, it's not good for you,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So
And
yeah.
one more that I have. It's this is something that was told to me when I named my son, because my sons have 3 names. Okay, and it's called hacer planas.
Oh, that's right. Yes. We make
Okay.
flats. Can
Make
we
flat.
make
What does that
flats?
mean?
Like push-ups, Javier? Like
No.
doing push-ups?
Now there is something called in English writing standards, but we normally use that as a punishment for someone that has misbehaved. So we make them write like Bart Simpson.
Repetitions,
I
right?
will not, put a tag on the teacher's seat. I will not,
I
put a
know.
cherry bomb in the toilet. I will not. I will not.
You have to copy that. Like you have to write that 100 times or
And normally you
1,000
do it
as a
on the
punishment.
on the blackboard, so you
Exactly.
don't just copy it and somebody
I
help
will
you.
study my English
I
vocabulary
will
daily.
practice my my regular verbs, but
My phrasal verbs.
there better yet, better yet. But no, in Mexico we tend to do it as a form of homework.
Yeah.
They want you to memorize a certain phrase or something. Write your name, on the full sheet of paper twice. So we
Right.
say dos planas, okay? So
Okay.
that
Okay.
sounds like about right
We
for
don't make
homework
flats.
assignment. We don't
Okay.
make flats and we don't write. You could say you write out 2 sheets of paper,
But
but
Dave,
that's
that's
not
too
a
long.
word.
Yeah, and it doesn't cover it.
Doesn't cover it, right?
No, it
No.
doesn't cover it. All right, very
Okay,
good.
what about you,
I have
Katza?
I have last one, guys, before we go to the main topic.
All
So,
right.
friolento.
Oh,
Okay, so having a tendency to feel cold even when it's only a bit chilly.
uh-huh.
It's like they suffer from the cold, you know.
But
So
we
in
have
English we don't have the word.
chili.
Yeah, but that
That
chilly is
doesn't
the
describe
weather.
like a
No, the
person who's
chilly
always
Like,
is the
feeling
yeah.
weather.
cold, right?
Yeah, not the
And to
person.
feel cold.
Remember Chili Willy, the penguin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but it doesn't that describes the weather, not necessarily the person.
The person.
Yes, or the
Oh.
tendency to
To like
feel
always feel
to be
cold.
sensitive to the cold.
Yeah.
But overly sensitive, right? Could say
Overly sensitive to the
because I am
cold.
a chilly kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me
I'm
too.
not good with cold weather
Yeah,
at
that's why
all.
I'm always wearing like scarves and things like
So
that.
friolento. Yeah, you're right,
Ah.
Katza.
Friolento.
We don't have one.
Good.
So saying I'm fine after a greeting, it's all right. But in advanced English, we should learn how to reply to greetings, especially if we are open to conversation.
Mm.
So, replying to greetings with more advanced phrases will actually set the perfect environment to continue the conversation. Very well. Today, we will teach you 6 ways to reply to greetings. Okay.
So okay, somebody.
And we're going to talk about scenarios here. All
All right,
right.
all right.
So, like different scenarios. So, scenario number 1, when life is not going too well.
Okay, so somebody asked me how am I doing, and it's not too well. I can say, I've had better days,
Right. Yeah.
which means I've been better than I am now. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
And you can say this phrase when you're having a bad day,
Mm-hmm.
or when you're in a bad period of your life. You're like,
Yeah.
well, I've had better days.
All
Very
right.
good. George?
Yeah, I was okay. So I could also say it's got to go with the tone, the way you say it also,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, by all
Intonation is
means.
important.
So
Yes.
I there's one that means, hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging in there, it means well, that means that if you had just, you're just okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're not giving up yet. That's why it says that you're hanging. You're not letting go.
Yeah.
You're surviving.
But you're suffering at
You're
some point.
suffering, but it's like
Yeah.
hanging in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, like,
Exactly. All right.
How about
I have
you,
another
Katza?
one, which is really it's really common for teenagers or mothers. I should say.
How are you, Katza, today?
Don't ask. The intonation is important, guys. Here it's like don't ask because I'm about to burst into flames in front of you, so don't ask.
You know,
right?
when I was a language
Ouch.
learner, that was a doozy for me because I would ask, "How you doing?" and somebody said, "Don't ask," and I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
But like literally, you don't want me to ask her? No, that's just an
You
expression.
took it too literal, man.
You're
I'm like,
too literal.
don't ask. Oh,
Yes.
sorry, I won't.
Uh-huh. Yes. So I would use this one. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, of course, you have to be sensitive to context and sensitive to whom you're speaking to. If you don't want to start a conversation, which will become negative, okay? Or
Right.
if you're
Mhm.
if your life is full of problems at the moment and you just can't reply to anything, just say, don't ask. I don't want to talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then the conversation can go to a new topic and then the pressure is off, right? So use it when you really
Right.
are not prepared to talk about what's going on in your
Okay.
life. So that was scenario number 1 when life is not going very well. All right. Let's go
all
to
right.
scenario number 2.
Okay, what about when life is good?
Yes.
How can we reply? So
Couldn't be
Katza,
better.
could it be
How
better? How you
couldn't be
doing, Katza?
better? Yes, never been better.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, this is
Ah.
a lovely, optimistic phrase. When everything in your life is going well, make sure you smile. Exactly. Like make it noticeable that you've never been better, right?
Nice.
And that you don't use a flat intonation.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, people might think you are being ironic, which you don't want. Okay,
That's
so
very
never been
important.
better.
Intonation is everything here, guys. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Good.
What about you, George? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
All right.
Or pretty well.
Yeah.
right? I like
Wow.
pretty good better. Pretty
Uh-huh.
good. You got to raise your voice. Intonation got a lot
Yeah.
to do with
Go
it.
up.
It will have a completely different effect if you just say pretty good.
Well,
Pretty
yeah,
good.
pretty good.
Pretty
Pretty.
Yeah.
good.
Why pretty? Is it because you're pretty or
Well, yeah,
Yes,
everything is
pretty would
pretty.
be replacing quite, right?
quite
Well,
like very, right?
for basic, learners, I'm sure, advanced learners already know this. Okay, pretty is another way of saying very.
Right.
Okay, so you can say pretty hot, pretty well. I mean, you can even say pretty well.
Yeah.
All right. Pretty interesting.
Mhm.
Pretty about anything.
Yeah.
All right. It's an emphasizer. It emphasizes it more. It's like saying very.
Yeah.
All right.
A
So
variation of very.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
pretty
And
interesting,
remember,
right, guys?
you want to keep language interesting.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Language is not boring, guys. Language is beautiful. Let's
Oh,
keep it
it
that way.
is. It
Spice
is.
into
It
it.
is.
Yes. Put some spice
Absolutely.
into it. There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Scenario number 3. So when life is just okay, not good nor bad.
Okay. So if you ask me,
How
hey,
are you doing?
well, I can't complain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When British
Okay.
speakers use this phrase, it can mean either that life is okay, or they would like to complain about something, but they don't want to bore you. Like, well, I can't complain.
Yeah, that's cultural.
Or
yes.
they live in a communist country and they really can't complain.
Exactly. They cannot. They cannot.
Or Russia.
Right?
Or
Yeah,
Russia.
communist
matter.
country,
Or
Russia.
what? Or what?
I
Can't
can't
complain.
complain now.
Big Brother's watching. Can't
I
complain.
can't say.
For Cuba for that.
Yeah, for
Hopefully
that
not
matters.
Mexico soon.
No. Knock on wood. That one we do have in English, guys. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Oh,
Yeah.
I got
Knock on wood.
God, everything here is plastic. I can't.
I got some wood
Oh, yeah,
here.
forget
so-
it. Forget it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What about you,
yeah.
George?
Same old, same old.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah, same old, same old. So we just say same old. We could also just say, oh, same old. Once it means that life is just as usual, neither brilliant nor terrible. In other words, you're bored. You need to do something with your life. If you ever say this, if somebody says this to me, I say, oh my God, this person.
Yeah.
You need a
job.
change. You need a change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. You need to
Make a podcast
close.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Make sure you practice the correct intonation for each of these replies to greetings, guys, so that you master when and with whom you may use them. All right. Remember, these were 6 advanced English ways to reply to readings. Okay, let's wrap things up, guys.
All right. So make sure, guys, like Katza said, intonation is everything. Otherwise, you might run the risk of sounding sarcastic.
Yes.
Yep, totally right. Okay, guys. And you're welcome to listen to our podcast every day, all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Repeat
All
it.
right. Yeah,
like,
repeat it. Repeat the
play it
podcast.
on the loop. Play
Yeah.
it on loop.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. You'll notice that once you play it once, twice, the second time, the third time you listen to it, you'll pick up on more. Because
Yeah.
the
Oh,
first
yeah,
time, 9 out
absolutely.
of 10 times, the first time we listen to somebody or something, it's just general listening for gist. The
It's-
second
yeah,
time,
it's-
third time, you're like, oh, I picked up something new. Try it.
it's-
Try it
it's-
and let us know.
Totally. It's undeniable. Practice makes progress, and it's like any other skill. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. So, all right.
Okay.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Right. Okay, so this is it for today. Thank you to all of our audience out there, and remember to subscribe to our channel. If you like this podcast, please share it with all your friends. You should also check out our YouTube channel where you can get the video version of this podcast. Of course, you are more than welcome to comment on our videos and maybe even give us some topics that you would like us to talk about in the podcast. You can also visit our website where you will find articles about English practice and learning. All right, until next time.
And if you listen to our Uspk channel, you can see how friolenta Katza really is.
Yes, exactly. Because right now it's like 20 degrees outside and I'm
She's
wearing
got
a
2
scarf.
jackets on and a scarf.
No, I'm not wearing 2 jackets.
Oh,
This
what is it?
No, it's a t-shirt.
Oh, okay, but
But
a
I'm covering
scarf.
with the scarf.
Indoors.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.